Right, welcome to another episode of Warhammer 40,000. It is 2,000 points and it is Blood Angels versus Eldar here. Josh Williams has returned with a different army here. He's going to use his Eldar and they will take on the might of the Blood Angels in this Challenger Scorpion game. Fighting across this Martian landscape, it's been the scene of many a battle. Many a life has been lost in this sector, and here we will witness Blood Angels colliding with the might of the Eldar. Right, so 2,000 points of Blood Angels here, primed and ready for war. It is battle forged, a battalion detachment and a spearhead as well, so 9 command points available here for the Blood Angels to use. So the battalion is quite straightforward. It's made up of scouts, 3 units of scouts, bolters in this squad, bolters and heavy bolter, and then bolt pistols and combat knives. And then you have to take 2 HQs. So there is the Sanguinor, and then also the Sanguinary Priest. And then we have a spearhead detachment. We have heavy support. There's 4 heavy supports here, so 2 Predator Annihilators. I've paid the points for Storm Bolters and for Hunter Killer Missiles on them. 2 Battle Predators, Heavy Bolter Sponsons, Twin Assault Cannons, Hunter Killer Missiles and Storm Bolters on those. Sanguinary Guard all armed with the swords and the Angelus Bolt Guns. And then we have the HQs, as regular Chaplain, regular Space Marine Chaplain. 5 Thunderhammer Terminators with Thunderhammers and Storm Shields. And then finally the flyer here. It is a Storm Raven gunship armed with Hurricane Bolters, Twin Multi-Melter, 2 rockets, and then also the Twin Las Cannon as well. There it is, that's 2,000 points of Blood Angels here. I was going to say mixed results. They haven't won many games here. Blood Angels have really been struggling, and a fresh challenge for them here against Josh's Eldar. Veritas Vitae I've put onto the Chaplain. He's going to carry that relic. That's 5+ for regaining command points. Then auto pass morale here for heroic bearing. That's the Warlord trait for the Sanguinor. That's the Blood Angels here. We'll take a look now and see what Josh has in his Eldar list. So it's Iyanden Eldar here. Josh Williams has returned for another game of Challenger Scorpion, and a new army, or a fresh army for him here as they take on the Blood Angels. We thought it'd be a nice contrast, the red against the yellow here in this game. We'll let Josh run through what he has.
So this is my 2,000 point Iyanden force. I'm running a spearhead. In the spearhead, I've got a Farseer with Guide and Doom. I've then got a Wraithseer. He's going to be my Warlord, and he's going to have the Mark of the Incomparable Hunter Warlord trait. So that will allow him to target characters, even if they're not the closest. He's then armed with a D cannon, which will be pretty cool. I've then got, in that spearhead, 2 fire prisms. One of which, being the newer model, will have the crystal targeting matrix. I've then got 2 Wraith Lords with dual flamers and shuriken cannons and a ghost glaive each. I've then got a Vanguard detachment. In that Vanguard detachment I've got a Warlock. He's got Protect/Jinx. I've then got a unit of Wraith Blades with ghost swords, a unit of Wraith Guard with Wraith Cannons, and a unit of Wraith Guard with D-Scythes. I've then got a Hemlock who's got Protect and Jinx again, and then 2 Wave Serpents, both with 3 shuriken cannons each.
Alright, so that's Josh's list. It's an amazing colour scheme, the Iyanden colour scheme. It's a beautiful colour scheme indeed, and again, as I said earlier, a great contrast here against the red of the Blood Angels. That's Josh's list. We'll go on to scenario and deployment next. Site Genome of Iyanden here for the Warlock has taken that. That's the extra, or doubling the attacks of units within range of him. So that's the relic that's taken. We'll check out the scenario and deployment next. Alright, so the scenario is called Scorched Earth. It's from Chapter Approved 2017. It's an Eternal War mission. 6 objectives on the board. And then we have gone for Vanguard Strike as the deployment here. Eldar will be in this corner with securing one objective just here. Then around the other side, the Blood Angels, we chose to go into this corner around here, and again an objective in our corner just here. The other objectives are in no man's land. Objective just here. They're all worth the same in this scenario. This one just here, and then one tucked behind the rock, just on the edge of the deployment zone there for Josh. So the only difference is the objectives that are in the deployment zones. So this objective here, the Blood Angels can try and raise it. They can try and destroy it and remove it from play if they secure it at the end of their turn. And same for the Eldar. If they secure this one, it can be removed from play as well. So the way the points work here, for every turn that you hold an objective, you receive 1 victory point for doing so. And then if an objective is raised, if it's destroyed, so if the Blood Angels remove this one, or the Eldar remove objective number 3, it is D3 victory points can be scored for doing that. It's an incentive to try and break into the opponent's deployment zone, but also an incentive to try and spread across the board and secure as many objectives as possible here in this scenario. So yes, both armies will be interested in destroying one another, but also got to think tactically here about securing the battlefield as well in order to pick up those precious victory points. Slay the Warlord, First Blood and Linebreaker all available in this mission. That is the scenario. The scene is set. We'll go now on to deployment now, start alternating placing units on the board. So just to mention the terrain that we're using in this game, it's the battle mat is by gamemat.eu, and then the main desert features here, these larger rocks, these sculpted rocks here are by gamemat.eu as well. That's the desert terrain set. So you roll the board out here, the 6x4 table. The mat rolls out nice and flat, and then we place the rocks or the formations here on top. And then these are rocks I've got from a beach and some other terrain from the club here at SSWG. And then we build that all up, and that creates the landscape here that you see in this battle. But you can check them out. It's gamemat.eu. They produce a whole variety of different mats that you can use for 40k, and also terrain sets available from them as well. Alright, so deployment done here for both sides. Both armies evenly spreading out across the board. I think this is going to be a who goes first. Turn 1 is going to be important. But we'll see. We'll test the character of these two forces here to see who can absorb turn 1, whichever side here goes first. So Stormraven gunship on the right hand side, deploying higher up than usual. The Terminators, Sanguinary Guard or Sanguinary Priest, and then the Chaplain inside there. Then the two Predator Annihilators staggered in this pattern. Unit of Scouts just here behind the Ultramarines Land Raider that's been destroyed. James is here, so I'm just taunting him slightly. And then Scouts here deploying ahead. Scouts here at the back. Two Bow Predators getting ready to swing round on their left. Sanguinary Guard and the Sanguinor have gone into reserve. They can descend down. Then on the extreme right hand side for Josh is the Warlock inside the Wave Serpent, along with the Wraith Blades with the swords. The 3 Wraith Lords are in the middle, getting ready to advance. The Wraith Seer is just here. Then Fire Prism on the extreme left. Another Wave Serpent with the that's the Wraith Guard with the D-Sibes. And then another Fire Prism, and then finally the Hemlock Wraith Fighter at the back. That's deployment done for both sides. Josh also, yes, he has played Webway Strike on a unit with the Wraith Cannons as Wraith Guard preparing to come in. I've never fought against an army of pure Wraith constructs before, so it'll be a first here on the channel. It's a debut as well for Craftworld, Iyanden Craftworld, painted up in the exact colour scheme. Fascinating stuff. We'll go on to the first turn. Josh gets +1 on his dice roll. He finished deploying first. That may well help him out. We'll see. This is it. Important roll here coming up. Blood Angels have scored a 2. Josh has scored a 3. We'll now try and seize the initiative. We roll a 1. Nope. Alright, so Eldar will get to go first. Blood Angels are going to have to brace themselves here as best as we can. Eldar are going to go first here with their firepower, their speed and manoeuvrability, and the units that they have are very tough indeed. What a test this will be for the Blood Angels. We'll see what happens. We'll go on to turn 1 coming up next for the Eldar. Alright, so turn 1 movement here. Uh-oh. There we go. On the move, nice and quick. It's all about these objectives here. They're spread all across the table. So, I'm not the biggest of armies here. Neither of these armies a Horde army, and certainly the Eldar Elite for sure with their Wraith units. Tough and durable, but both sides not having too many units here. So it's going to have to be a wise use and a careful use of units. Every unit counts here. There's 6 objectives to try and secure. And if either side starts to dominate the table, having spread out and securing multiple objectives, then that'll help them achieve ultimate victory here. So got to bear that in mind for both armies, as well as the focus of trying to destroy one another with firepower and close combat as well. Alright, so movement complete here. You can see some quick manoeuvring taking place. This is the Hemlock Wraith Fighter making its move and pivoting. Wraith Lords have advanced nice and quick from them, reaching almost the halfway point of the board. The Wraith Seer on the move as well. The Fast Seer has made an advanced move down from on top of the rock. Then the Fire Prisms remain stationary.
Yes, right.
Yes, so no penalty for them when they fire. And then round here, this Wave Serpent swung around onto objective, just here, objective number 4. Alright, so that's movement done. We'll go now on to Psychic Phase next for the Eldar on their first turn. Alright, Psychic Phase is done. Smite was attempted by the Hemlock and didn't go off. Doom has been cast here from the Farseer onto the Storm Raven. And then, what was the other power you were looking to?
The other power I was looking to do was guide onto this.
That's right, guide onto the Wraithseer, and that one didn't go ahead. Alright, so that is Psychic Phase done. We'll go on to Shooting Phase next. On Shooting Phase here, just to mention, Deliverance was cast from the Wraithseer onto the Wraith Lord, this one here, the front. Okay, so 6+, ignoring wounds that are caused. Now for shooting, there's heavy firepower available in the form of these 2 fire prisms, and also here the Hemlock Wraith Fighter is pretty good as well. Wraith Lords, they advanced, so not much. Okay, alright, so we're going to Shooting Phase here, see what the Iyanden Eldar can do. Right, so we're on Shooting Phase here. You see the scouts, a number of them have been brought down. There's just one left. That was firepower from the shuriken cannons from the Wave Serpent from here, and also from the other Wave Serpent as well. So that's the total amount of damage that they've done. Josh is now going to fire the D-Sives, heavy D-Sives, into the Storm Raven gunship.
So it's 2d3 shots.
So
I'm going to spend a command point on that one.
Okay, so it's going to re-roll here. So 5 shots in total. Was it hits?
5 automatic hits.
5 auto hits, okay.
It's strength 12. So I need freeze to wound, and I'm re-rolling because of Doom.
Ah, yes, Doom, very helpful. It's all of them. Okay, and he's using his nice Eldar rune marked dice here. So they all wound. What's the AP minus?
AP minus 4.
Right, 2 damage. Ouch. So that, I think, is 10 wounds. And there's naught we can do about that. Yeah, she's just got 4 wounds left. What an ambush that was. That is super quick there, and that Hemlock is a nasty unit for sure. It's the first time I've had to face one in 8th edition, and I'll not quickly forget its capabilities. Alright, so that's that firepower done. The next is... He's not sure. He's still thinking here what to do. That's a good result, though. Excellent. And what has helped is Doom here, the useful abilities being cast there by the Farseer. So good stuff here from the Eldar. They're showing us how it's done for sure, taking advantage of going first. All right, so it's the Warlord here, the Wraith Seer, is going to fire at the Storm Raven. So
D3 shots.
D3 shots.
1 shot. He hits on 5.
5+.
No.
No, missed. All right, we can breathe a sigh of relief here. 4 wounds left. Surely we're destroyed, though. Still has the fire prisms to fire. All right, so 2d3 shots going to come from this first fire prism here. It remains stationary, so it gets 2d3 shots.
I am going to link their fire.
He's going to link their fire as well. He's going to pay a command point for it.
So this one will shoot into that one, and that one will shoot at you.
Right, okay. Yes.
So the first one. So that's 4 shots.
Okay.
I'm hitting on 4s, but re-rolling because of the linked fire stratagem.
Okay.
Re-rolling. So that's
Gets 3 hits.
It's strength 9, so I need freeze to wound.
Freeze to wound.
Wow.
Got 2 6s and a 5. Nice.
And that's AP minus 4, doing D3 damage.
So the Storm Raven is dead unless Josh rolls 3 1s and 2s. No, not quite. He's rolled 8 wounds there, actually. So Stormraven destroyed. We will figure out what's going on here. Stormraven barely got the engines running here. It's been blown out the sky. So in this rhubarb and custard battle, the custard prevails at this stage. We'll figure out what damage has been done. Right, so damage resolved. We used a command reroll. We did roll a 1 here for models slain, and we then passed it, so no damage taken here at all. 1 command point used up to preserve the life of one of the Terminators, and we didn't explode. So model removed from play within 3 inches of disembarkation. Josh has since fired his 2 shuriken cannons here on top of the Wraith Lords, and they scored a wound, but we passed a 2-up armor save. That is shooting phase finished. Assaults. Josh says possibly yes for an assault here. It's the Wave Serpent, potentially, could make it into combat against the Bow Predator. Alright, so assault's taking place. Josh rolled a 5, so not far enough, and we did get some hits. 1 wound was caused, and Josh passed that. That was a heavy bolt around. Getting a wound there on Overwatch. So no damage taken on that Wave Serpent. So turn 1's finished. It's gone well for the Eldar here. They've coordinated some firepower. Blood Angels have lost their Stormraven here. It's not so good. Terminator's now on foot. This is why I deployed here and not here with the Stormraven, anticipating the possibility of being brought down. At least they're in some kind of position to start making a move on some of these objectives. We'll calculate points now, actually. Josh may have well picked up some points. All right, so points calculated here. 1 point for securing this objective, and this one, and also the objective just over here in the corner. So 4 points picked up. So some units destroyed, first blood as well has been scored. So it really is a good start here from the Eldar, taking full advantage of turn 1. Blood Angels now need to react as best as they can. Turn is finished, we'll go on to turn 1 now for the Blood Angels. Alright, so movement done for the Blood Angels here. We've gone 5 inches here with the Terminators shuffling ahead with the Chaplain behind them and the Sanguinary Priests. They've definitely got a target to go after here in the form of those 2 Wraith Lords. Then across here, I reckon we're going to try and deal with this flyer just by las cannons here from these who remain stationary of these 2 Predator Annihilators. Scouts have remained where they are. This Scout's moved out. He's going to sacrifice himself to pick up a point for the cause of the Blood Angels. And then so you can imagine him reporting back here. That squad's left, I'm the only one. And then he receives a counter order just to go out and secure the objective by himself. But he's gladly obeyed here for the Emperor and for Sanguinius.
We shall know no fear.
Yes, and James is still here, everybody, in the background constructing units of Primaris Marines. But back to this battle here, holding position with these for now. Then we've landed there with the Sanguinor, not the Sanguinary Guard. They're remaining off the board for now, so we can bring them down later on. We're going to hold position here with the 2 Bow Predators and to let loose our full weight of firepower against this Wave Serpent potentially. So that is movement done here for the Blood Angels. They're still in the fight for sure. It's early days here in the game, but they've started an uphill climb. They've lost their Stormraven. That's a lot of firepower, a lot of points gone. We'll see if we can claw back some points here as we go into shooting phase next. The Blood Angels on turn 1. Right, so shooting phase here for Blood Angels. We're still optimistic. Got a good base of firepower available, and Terminators in position, thanks to the Stormraven being here, potentially able to strike. We're going to fire some crack grenades first of all. 1 and 2 are going to be thrown here from the Chaplain and the Sanguinary Priest. So we get a hit, and we get a wound, and it's -1, so a 4+ save. Nope, and it's D3 damage. Wow. 3 wounds caused. That was a good throw, sir. A 6-up for no pain. Alright, so Josh can try and block these. He does 1. Alright, so 2 wounds caused here. It's a 12 wound model, so 10 wounds remain. Right, so we're going to make a start with the heavy guns now. This Predator's going to unleash everything it has into the Hemlock. So we've seen what that thing can do. Hunter Killer Missile and 4 las cannon shots. So forced to hit with the las cannons. We'll leave it at that. 3s to wound. Yeah, we're going to command reroll this one. 3+. It's gone off the board. 3+. No. 5+ to keep it with Veritas Vitae. No. All right, so just the 2 get through. Take a -3. So Josh has some saves of... See, he's passed one. That's a good roll. D6 damage coming through. 6 wounds, and he gets a 6+ to try and block these here. So any 6s are helpful. 1. All right, so 5 wounds taken. So 5 wounds remain. Hunter Killer Missile potentially could finish this thing off if it hits, which it does. It does wound, and it's -2. Oh, he's rolled a 6. All right, so it's going to take other firepower to bring this thing down. Choices to make now as to what we can do next. All right, we're going to go into this Predator now. I'm going to put a Hunter Killer Missile and 1 las cannon shot into this, and then 3 las cannon shots are going to go into the fire prism across here. But just being aware of the long range firepower that Josh has. So here we go. 3 las cannons needing 3s. Oh man, we've missed with 2. 3s for a wound. Oh, the pain. 1 las cannon shot into the hemlock. Oh, and the Hunter Killer Missile, surely not. It's balancing there on something. We'll re-roll it. No, we've rolled a 1. Agony and ecstasy here. We failed with this Predator Annihilator. That will cost the Blood Angels dearly. They needed to cause trouble here, and they have failed. These 2 Predators combining their firepower resulted in just knocking off 5 wounds from the Hemlock Wraith Fighter. Blood Angels keep this up, they'll be in trouble. They had a chance, could have taken that out quite easily. A lot of las cannons here, but we failed to do so. We've got Bound Predators left. They may well be able to provide some effective fire support, but we're running out of options here. Okay, so the rest of the shooting phase complete here. Disastrous stuff from the Blood Angels. Those 2 Predators struggling there to get their hits. I've got a bad feeling the Blood Angels are going to suffer now. They had a chance to cause real trouble. Imagine if we took this out. We were going to try and take it out with one of these, and then with a spare Predator, we're going to go after either this or indeed bring down this Wraithseer. But it's not to be. They've struggled to even bring down the Flyer, which is still alive and fully operational. It has 3 wounds left, and it'll still, because it's auto hits with its weapons, still at full effect. Its movement may be slowed, but its weapons will not be hindered. Firing bolter through here. Josh made a save. He did get a wound on a 6. Mortal wounds were caused. That was Hellfire Shell stratagem being used. Didn't reclaim that with Veritas Vitae. 9 wounds remaining on the Wraith Lord. And then across here we offloaded all we had. 2 Hunter Killer Missiles coming across, causing some trouble. 2 wounds being caused there. That's why the Hemlock is down to 3 wounds left, and the rest of the firepower reduced this Wave Serpent down to 11 wounds remaining. It's just a couple of wounds coming through from that firepower. That is all the shooting done. We hope we will fare better in a close combat phase. We'll go on to charges and Overwatch next. The Blood Angels on their first turn. Alright, so assaults have taken place. We've made the charge, that's good, and also the Sanguinary Priest and the Chaplain have made it in. We took 1 wound on Overwatch in total, we declared the charge against both of those Wraith Lords. We're going to combat resolution now. Here is where we need some hope, something good to happen for the Blood Angels to keep them in this fight. Alright, Sergeant and 2 of these are going to fight against him, first of all. It's needing 4s. Yeah, something good's happened here. We've got 6 out of 7 hits, and we'll reroll this for the Chaplain. It's a full house. I do like Thunderhammer Terminators. We are on +1. We're actually on +1 strength for the Sanguinary Priest. 3s to wound. It's red first, 2s to wound here against the Wraith Lords. 2s to wound. It's a full house. This is incredible. This is really good. We are on 7 saves of 6+ here. Otherwise this Wraith Lord is going to be blown away. No. So 15 wounds caused in total. He's been smashed to smithereens here. So that's him destroyed. And then we've got these 2 to fight as well. Alright, so we're keeping the momentum going here. The other 2 need 4s. If I get a 4+ here, it's a full house of hits. I've never done this before. Half a chance. 2s to wound. Could take out a second one here. That's the 2 there. So we have got our wounds. 6 to save. He's rolled 2 6s though. Well done, Josh. You've kept the Wraith Lord alive, but he's taken 6 damage. 4 wounds left. Alright, so the Chaplain's now moved in for the fight here. 2s to hit. 4s to wound with red first. Yes, 2 get through. It's -1s. 2 saves of 4+ here. and it's 2 damage a time. It's passed both on a 6 and a 4. Well done. So the armor starts to hold now. Sanguinary Priest next. We'll pile him in. Yeah, Sanguinary Priest. He's got his hits on 2s. 5s for wounds. 4s for wounds. So, yeah, 2 saves. Regular, 3+. Pass both of them. Alright, so the Wraith Lord remains. So he can fight now. Back. He may well be at a reduced rate with his damage. Oh, yes. And then he is doubling his wounds characteristic. So he will get to fight at normal attacks.
I'm going to put my attacks into the chaplain.
He's going after the chaplain. Oh, no. He's singled out the chaplain here. He's going to try and remove his head. The sword swings. And gets 3 hits.
Strength 9.
2s for wounds. Oh, chaplain, stay alive. There's 2 1s in there. 1 wound gets through. We have a 4+ invuln save for Sanguinius. Oh, it's a 4. Hold. Alright, well done. Alright, so fight phase finished. Not quite yet. We will honour the chapter, despite the shame of previous events here in this game. We will fight again with the Thunderhammer Terminators. Alright, so here come the attacks. 4s. Rerolling the misses thanks to the chaplain who's still alive. He grants them an extra 3 hits. It still counts as we charge this turn, so 2s for wounds. Yeah, so he's got to be doomed. 7 saves here of 6+. No, long gone. A whole ton of wounds come through. The second Wraith Lord brought down. Alright, so consolidation moves there, just halting, not within an inch there of the Farseer, but that is combat stun. A bit of a breakthrough here for the Blood Angels. Now they are exposed, no doubt they're going to be shot at, potentially assaulted by different units. Josh has plenty at his disposal, but it's a good result there. 2 Wraith Lords brought down, and a fine display of aggression from the Thunderhammer Terminators. That marks the end of the turn. We'll calculate some victory points now for the Blood Angels. Yeah, so 3 points scored. 1 here. Sanguinary Priest holds objective number 2. The Scout has done his job, and then back here as well. So 3 points scored of Blood Angels. Respectable enough. It keeps them in the fight, despite them being at a disadvantage for sure. Josh has firepower remaining. We failed to bring the flyer down, and remember there are Wraith units here waiting to burst out and cause trouble across the board here, and also the unit coming in from the webway on turn 2. So turn 1 finished for both sides. Eldar have the advantage, but Blood Angels, there's still hope for them as they seek to honour their chapter. We'll go on to turn 2 coming up next for the Eldar. Alright, so moving complete here. Josh lining up his force to cause a lot of trouble potentially for the Blood Angels. So Hemlock Wraith Fighter has moved and pivoted to here. Then the Wraith Seer moving in. Then the Wave Serpent that was up here has disembarked and moved with the Wraith Guard with their D-Scythes. Webway Strike, these have turned up just here, just over 9 inches away, ready to fire against the Predator Annihilator. The Wave Serpent's moved down, ready to charge in if it survives. Then around here, 12-inch move jumping across, and Josh preparing to charge one of these or both of these about Predators. Then the 2 fire prisms, they've remained stationary to continue to provide their firepower support across the board. That's movement done. We'll go on to Psychic Phase next for the Eldar on turn 2. Alright, Psychic Phase complete. Doom and Jinx cast on the Terminators. Doesn't sound good against them. Deliverance here. Josh using one of his custom-made cards. That's been cast from the Wraith Seer. That gives them a 6+ feel no pain. The Wraith Guard. Then across here, Guide has been cast. That was from the Farseer onto the Wraith Guard here to help them with their firepower. That's Psychic Phase done. It's gone exactly how Josh wanted it to go. We'll go on to Shooting Phase next. Okay, so here we go. 5 Wraith Cannons into the Predator. It is in trouble here for sure.
So 3's to hit.
3's to hit. Ooh, triple
Guide.
1. Guide will help, yes. 3's again. There's 2 more 1s. Interesting. 3's to wound.
2 wounds.
Oh, 2 wounds get through. It's AP -4, so it's 2d6 damage. It's a 1 and a 6. 7 wounds caused here on the Bow Predator. Josh has 1 command point left, so he's not going to re-roll that one. 7 wounds caused in total. So I thought he was going to destroy it there, but it's still bad damage coming through. It's in a damage bracket and just 4 wounds remaining on the Predator Annihilator. Right, so Wraith Guard here now going to fire into the Terminators with their D-Sives.
So 5d3.
5d3 shots, yeah, or hits coming through.
3, 5, 7,
7, 8, 10.
10.
10 hits. And these are strength.
10 of
Strength 10, yes, beyond 2s to wound. This is not good here. Try and get these Terminators alive. So that my invuln save has been affected by Jinx as well.
-1.
Yeah, so down to 4+ invuln save. That's a good power to use.
So 2's.
2s to wound.
Rerolling 1s because of Doom.
Ah, yes. Yeah, they are doomed for sure. All 10 wounds coming through. So we'll try and roll up some saves now. Of 4+. What's the damage on these?
Just 1.
Just 1, alright. So 4 pluses. And I have to say...
Wow.
Yes, exactly what I was going to say. Wow. So just 1 Terminator brought down. This wounded guy has to go. And then a wound put on another. Incredible there. That could have been very bad, but 4 Terminators remain defiantly alive. Hemlock Wraith Fighter. A similar kind of firepower coming from that. 2d3 hits. It's 3 hits in total. 2s for wounds. They all wound. And these are d3 damage a time. No, 2 damage a time. Right, these will kill the Terminators. This is nasty. I really do need these 4 pluses here. We passed 1. So, oh dear, he's going to kill the wounded one. And 1 other whole model slain as well. Alright, so Josh still wants to cause trouble here. So the Wave Serpent's going to fire 9 shots here. Shuriken Cannons going into the Terminators. Needing 3s. And they're needing 3s to wound.
Rerolling because of Doom.
Oh yes, they're doomed, yeah. So that was a 2, but he's got 5.
Just 3 up saves.
3 up saves, yes, because of doing with Jinx there. There's a wounds come through, but still, Terminator and Terminator Sergeant remain alive. Shuriken Pistol misses. All right, and then there's still him to fire his weapon. 5 prisms available as well, and a little bit of firepower over here. All right, firepower over here. Josh fired all the Shuriken Cannons into the Sanguinor, and 1 wound we passed to save for him. Alright, Wraith Seer, he can fire at characters even if they're not the closest. Josh is going to try and take out the chaplain here. Oh dear.
3 shots.
1.
1 shot, sorry.
1, is that a hit or a shot?
1 shot.
It's a shot, alright, okay. So,
Hitting on 4s.
yes,
A hit.
gets the hit, okay.
It's strength 12.
2s for a wound. Does get the wound, rolls a 4. So we go down to an invuln save here of 4+, which we roll a 6. Whoa, Chaplain again passing an invuln save there to help keep him alive. What would the damage have been?
D6.
Oh, okay. Well done. All right, so any other firepower across the board?
Only the 5 prisms.
5 prisms. Oh, only the 5 prisms, of course. Yeah, a little bit of fire support coming from them. We'll see where Josh wants to shoot with these. Right, so firepower then, they're going to link fire again. It's going to link to this one, which is going to fire across to the Predator at the back. This one here that's not been touched yet in this game. 60-inch range, so no problem for range here. So
this one gets 2d3 shots.
Yeah.
5 shots. Hitting on freeze. Rerolling because of link fire.
They've all hits a full house here, well done.
Strength 9.
3s for wounds.
Rerolling because of link fire.
Wow. All of them.
Wounds. -4.
-4, so no save. We're playing usual rules for cover here. And it's
5d3.
5d3, I thought it was 5d6, okay.
So, 3, 5, 9 wounds.
9. Oh, so Predator survives, but it's severely damaged here. Just a handful of wounds left. Yeah, so 2 wounds left here, but he's still got the other one to fire. So 2d3 shots coming through for this one. 5 shots.
5 shots. You're rolling because of link fire.
Yeah, it is good.
And freeze. That's
It's gone. He's destroyed. I'm going to roll up to see if we explode, which we do not. All right, Predator destroyed. Excellent supporting fire coming in from the fire prisms here. This is why Josh has taken them. Excellent long range on them and linking up nicely for very accurate and very deadly firepower. The Predator Annihilator has been destroyed. All right, painful here for the Blood Angels. Their tank's been picked on here. This Predator's still alive, but just 4 wounds remaining. So any other firepower left?
No more firepower.
No more firepower, all right. So deadly firepower coming through here. Predator's in trouble. We'll go on to... There's no other shooting? None. Okay, right. So we'll go on to assaults now. Charges and Overwatch to resolve next. All right, so charges have taken place. The Wraith Seers charged in against the Chaplain and the Terminators. Then across here... the Sanguinary Priest is in trouble. He's been charged by the Wraith Guard. They do have their Wraithbone Fists to fight with. Then across here, Wave Serpent moving in to silence the Predator. It did take some damage from Overwatch, 2 las cannon hits, but with help from the Serpent Shield, just a couple of wounds removed. From that, it's down to 10 wounds. And then across here, Josh has simultaneously charged against both the Battle Predators, and they have done no damage at all on Overwatch. That is charges complete. We'll go into combat resolution next. Alright, so combat's there. Wraith Seer going into the Terminators here. This is the attacks coming through.
Freeze.
So 2 hits.
And he's strength 9.
Strength 9, so 2s.
Rerolling because of Doom.
Doom, yes, Doom helping out, yep. So 2 wounds do come through. What kind of damage are we looking at for
D6.
D6 damage? Right, I need to block these with 4+ invuln save because of Jinx. We block 1. 4+ invuln save. We could try and stay alive. It would be worth it. Yeah, we're going to use a command point. Veritas Vitae, 5+. We keep it, and a 4+ for the shield to hold. No, it's a dreaded 1. It doesn't matter what you score, it's going to be a dead Terminator. The Sergeant remains alive, though. Thankfully, the Chaplain nearby. So there's still some fight left in that Terminator unit. Then across here, the Wraith Guard fighting next.
5 attacks.
5 attacks.
Freeze.
So shocking dice roll there. Freeze for a wound. As a wound comes through, it's -1. So we get a 4-up save, which we pass. Sanguinary Priest is still alive. And then down here, it's just going to be a bit of clanging taking place as these two drive into each other. This rhubarb and custard bumper cars fight taking place all across the table here of these annoying wave serpents. So we'll resolve these here. They're not really combats, are they? It's just bumper cars going on here. So we'll get these combats resolved. All right, so combat's resolved between these vehicles and no damage done on anybody. As predicted. That's the end of combats and the end of the turn. So we'll calculate some points picked up. Josh has picked up 1, 2, 3, and that's it. 3 points picked up. So continuing to add to his tally. We'll go on to the Blood Angels' turn next. They are in trouble, but they're not out of the game yet. There's still some fight left in them. So we'll push on to their turn coming up now. So Blood Angels... turn 2 coming up next as they battle for survival here against the Iyanden Eldar. All right, so movement phase for the Blood Angels. We're doing the best we can given the circumstances. So through here, Terminators, we've resurrected one. So one of them gets up and joins back in the fight. Sanguinary Priest pulling out of combat. He just needs to be just over an inch away out of that combat there. So the Chaplain and now 2 Terminators fighting away. This is the Warlord here, isn't it?
It is.
It is, right, okay, so it's a bonus point up for grabs if we can bring him down. There's 4 wounds remaining now because we forgot to fight back with the Sergeant and the Chaplain. Sergeant caused some wounds, and so did the Chaplain as well, so the Wraith Seer has been knocked down to 4 wounds remaining. Hopefully we'll be able to bring him down. We can't deal with all of these Eldar units, but we're doing the best that we can with the resources that we have left. The Scout's happy to hold position, amazed at the miracle he's still alive there, so he can pick up another point. Scouts have repositioned themselves to fire in this direction. The Predator's pulled out of combat and has let off smoke. And then across here, perhaps controversial, but trying to play the rules as they're written here, we've landed with these. Now, it's Josh's fault because he jumped into amongst the Blood Angels here. We've pulled out of combat with the 2 tanks and positioned a ring of fire around, around here. That's all right, sorry about that. A ring of fire around here. Sanguinor's just here. We've positioned him on top. The Scouts have moved in, and if we can execute this charge and wrap ourselves around this Wave Serpent, then we think the way the rules are, that if it's destroyed, Josh has to disembark, which he cannot do, and therefore the unit and models will be destroyed. So we're trying to go for like a big kill here, just by entrapping. Imagine the screams from inside. I wonder if, I don't know, perhaps from the Warlock. Yeah, if this thing's destroyed here, and the Blood Angel's happy just to let them burn. So we'll go now on to shooting phase next with Blood Angels. See if we can execute this plan later on. There's some shooting phase with Blood Angels as well. Okay, so shooting phase done, not too much. Pistol being fired here by the Chaplain, and no damage. We fired a bolt around here against the flyer and no wound. A wound caused here, but Josh passed a save. Then round here, crack grenades being thrown from the Sanguinor and also the Scouts, popping smoke on these 2 Bow Predators, popping smoke here on this Predator Annihilator, and then across here the Angelus bolt guns firing here from the Sanguinary Guard. In total we caused a couple of wounds, 9 wounds left here on this Wave Serpent, all helping to try and reduce that down to 0 wounds. That is shooting done. We'll go on to combats now. There's some charges to take place. A crucial one across here. We're going to play Descent of Angels and try and get that 3d6 charge to go ahead. We'll go on to charges and Overwatch next. Alright, so charges have taken place here. The melee continues over here with the Chaplain and the Terminators. Then down here the Scouts have charged into the flyer. Josh will be able to pull out and shoot, but it prevents him from being free to charge other Blood Angel units. Then around here, as we try and execute this plan, we used Descent of Angels. Veritas Vitae didn't help out there, trying to keep command points. We only have 1 left, but we have made the roll of 14 for our charge with 3d6, and Scouts have charged in as well, and so has the Sanguinor, trying to enclose this circle around here. Josh hoping to perhaps explode if he dies. We'll try and figure out to see if he can place these models on the table. We'll see. It's a difficult one here, but we'll go now on to combat resolution next. Alright, so we'll charges first then. The Sanguinor will fight first of all. 6 attacks. He's within his own bubble for the bonus. 2s for hits. 4s for wounds we've read first. Yeah, there's 2. The wave, so it's AP -4, yeah, so 2d3 damage. Oh, that's a good start. That's 6 wounds caused there. 3 wounds left. So we'll go to the Sanguinary Guard next. They're within 6 of him, so they're going to get bonus attacks here with their Carmine swords. It's actually going to be 15 attacks with these, and they'll be re-rolling their hits. So 3s for hits. It looks like we should be able to do this quite comfortably. Oh, that's all hits here. And again, it's going to be 4s for wounds, and these are at -3. Yep, so there's a load here. There's 7 saves of 6+ to make. I think we've done it. There's 1 saved. Yeah, we've got through, and that's a whole load of D3. But the vehicle's been destroyed. Let Josh roll to see if it explodes. Okay, and now we're going to consult the rules and see what happens here in this rhubarb and custard mess. We'll figure out as best as we can the right interpretation of what's going to happen here to see if the Warlock or the Wraith Blades can be saved. Right, so Yeah, we've had a long discussion here about the rules. That these are going to be removed from play because we're going to play our interpretation of the rules. But this is open for discussion here in the comment section. Should be interesting. So we're talking about when a vehicle is destroyed, you have to make a disembarkation move before the model is removed. So the model itself is not an option. Josh can't deploy these where this vehicle is because at the moment this vehicle is here at the moment. So the other option is to deploy it within 3 inches. Now the question is, if he goes strictly within 3 inches, it's going to put his models about here, which obviously he is not allowed to do because of the presence of the Blood Angels models. But if he deploys with the edge of the bases here within 3 inches, is it that interpretation, in which case his unit could deploy far enough away to be legally placed. The way we're going to play it, and the way we've been playing in this game, and in games we've been playing, is that when you disembark from a transport, either through movement or through a situation like this where a vehicle's destroyed, all of the model and the base has to be within 3 inches. So in this instance, if we're going to play out the standard interpretation that we use, this unit would be destroyed. They can't place themselves keeping within 3 inches and yet away from these models. This unit has been destroyed, but it's a point for discussion. Is that the right interpretation, or would Josh be allowed to deploy? Effectively, it's 4.5 inches away at the extreme point, but still within 3 inches of the edge of his model. That's the question we're asking. So in the comment section, we're pretty sure on the interpretation, but it may well be that you're allowed to do that. If you are allowed to do that, then it has a knock-on effect. For example, a unit that's disembarking from a Storm Raven gunship, I can deploy them instead of within 3 inches, they can go the extra width of a Terminator base and actually gain themselves about 1.5 inches. Is that the right interpretation? That's the question. But we're going to play it how we've played in this game already. Remember when the Terminators disembarked from their transport, I kept them wholly within 3 inches of where the Storm Raven base was. But interesting point of discussion here. But we're going to play on here. Josh has managed to preserve the Warlock in the space there where the tank was, so he's remained alive, but that's the interpretation that we've gone for. Alright, so Warlock's deployed here, and that's that area finished. It creates a bit of hope here for the Blood Angels. They've got some presence at this end of the board now, but fighting over here, Terminator's isolated, fighting away. We'll pick a combat now, so we will go... Let's charge us first, actually, so we need to resolve this combat next. Alright, so combat resolved here. We've let Josh fight back as well. We caused two wounds actually there, with wounds coming through. So 8 wounds left on this Wave Serpent. Right, Terminators. Fighting. 3 of them. The attack's going in against the Wraith Seer. 4s to hit. Not so good. Chaplain, see if he can help out here. 4s, that's better. 3 get through. It's 3s to wound now. 2 get through. It will be enough, unless Josh rolls a 6 here. Oh no! So dear. Double 6. God.
From the Warlord.
From the Warlord. Oh man. That's so painful. Okay, so we've picked that combat. So now Josh can fight. Yes, right. Okay, so
you've got your chaplain there.
Chaplain's there. Yeah, all the Terminators.
Into the chaplain.
It's going to go into the chaplain. All right.
4 attacks still because of Iyanden.
Yes, oh yes, because of his damage brackets increased.
2 hits.
Come on, Chaplain, you in one save. There's 2 saves got to come through. Oh no. And it's D6 damage a time. Right, first one, 4+. Oh, second one. Oh, the in1 save again. Incredible. Chaplain's going to fight back now. 2s. Rerolling. Yes. He's got himself a wound here. It's at -1, so 4+ save or 2 damage will come through. No. All right, so down to 2 wounds left now on the Warlord. And that marks the end of the combat phase here. So I think Eldar still have the advantage, but Blood Angels attempting to claw their way back. Significant events taking place in this game. A point of controversy perhaps, or maybe we've got it right, but we'll see as we look back at this game in the future, and we'll try and research the correct interpretation there for future reference. But we'll go now on to the next turn for the Craftworld Eldar here. Alright, so turn 3 coming up next. So much has taken place in this battle already. Bloodshed here on both sides. We'll see if the Eldar can press ahead with their advantage. Getting the feeling that Blood Angels have clawed their way back quite significantly here, but is it enough? This is the question. Blood Angels looking stronger here. Their presence dwindling at this end, and then vice versa here for the Eldar. Their presence here not as strong as it was, but they've still got a decent fire base here. The flyer is excellent. 2 heavy support tanks as well available, and then plenty of Wraith constructs in the area. We'll go on to their turn 3 coming up next. Alright, so movement done here. The 2 fire prisms remaining exactly where they are. Wraiths moving through. Josh lined up to pick up plenty of objectives here. This one, and this one, and this one. Blood Angels, by the way, picked up 2 points for objectives held. That was this one here, and this one here as well. Since then, Josh has removed the Wave Serpent from combat and is positioned over here. The Warlord's moved through, remember doubling his wounds characteristic for Iyanden, so he's moved across in this direction. Also the Farseer has moved away, so breaking off from combat here, but Josh has plenty of firepower to put into those Terminators. No problem. These have moved up, and then around here the Warlock is stuck, and then the Hemlock Wraith Fighters moved across and pivoted, ready to shoot. So definitely the Eldar still have the advantage as they fight against the Blood Angels. We'll go on to Psychic Phase next. Alright, so Psychic Phase done. It's a terrible shame, but Smite went off from the Farseer here, and it was an 11 that Josh rolled, so a heap of wounds coming through. The Terminators have been blasted to pieces here, and the Chaplain and the Sanguinary Priest had left on their own. Truly isolated now in the heart of this Eldar zone. Doom's Guide, has gone off over here on these as to help them as they fire against the Predator, and then Deliverance cast on these to give them a bit of extra protection, and then round here a single mortal wound coming through from the Smite ability, the reduced Smite ability from the Warlock against the Sanguinary, the Sanguinor, and then across here Jinx failed to go off against the Sanguinary Guard. That is Psychic Phase done pretty good here again from the Eldar. It's a great asset for them to have. We'll go on to Shooting Phase next. Alright, so shooting resolved here, and quite a miracle's taken place, but I'm not sure if it's going to have too much impact on the game. So Fire Prism firing across from here, some good hits coming through despite the smoke that was popped here from the Bow Predator. 5 wounds remaining on that, it's still alive. But seriously, well, it's taken 1 damage bracket now of damage, but it's still available. Firing through here, we made a good number of 6s to prevent some of the damage coming through, but 2 of the Sanguinary Guard brought down. That was firepower coming in from the Hemlock Wraith Fighter. A pistol shot coming through from Warlock caused a wound as well. So not only was there a smite, but then also a wound coming through from the pistol. We rolled a 1 for our save. So Sanguinor's taken 2 wounds. Then across here, Predator has been destroyed. That was firepower coming through from the Wraith Guard. That's pretty inevitable that was going to happen. They were helped by Guide. Then Scouts, 3 of them brought down. That's firepower from the Shuriken Cannons, 3 of them firing. The Scout was shot and killed by a pistol from the Farseer, and then he couldn't fight. He pulled out of combat. And then across here, Josh offloaded all of his D-Side firepower into the Chaplain, who then made these 8 invuln saves of 4+. I don't know what's up with him today, but he's completely rock solid. He did take a wound in the end, and that was after Josh offloaded all of the firepower from the Fire Prism here, just causing 1 wound in the end. But what a Chaplain he had. Incredible. It doesn't usually happen. He should be
in the archives of the Imperium.
You're right, okay, James has made a note of his heroics here. Right, that is the end of Shooting Phase here. I think the Eldar are ahead now, and they should be able to see this game through. We'll go on to Assaults next. Potentially, yes, there's some Assaults possibly that could take place. We'll let Josh roll up some dice, and we'll resolve some Overwatch. Right, so charges are taking place. A charge attempted here and failed, no damage from Overwatch, and he was hit by a crack grenade, but rolled a save. The Warlock's charged in, trying to find a way out here against the Sanguinor. We'll roll up some combat resolutions now here next. Right, so combat's resolved over here. The Warlock died here, was slain by the Sanguinor, and that's it. So points then picked up. This one doesn't count, the flag can't hold the objective there, but across here, 1, 2, 3 and 4 secured. So 4 points, keeping Josh nicely ahead. These have been good. They've sat there, they haven't had to move, their firepower's excellent range, and they're picking up a point every time here for the Eldar. So it's good stuff there for the fire prisms. Excellent fire support here for this Wraith army. We'll go now onto the third turn for the Blood Angels. They're still in the fight, but their chances of victory here slipping away. Right, so moving down for the Blood Angels here, we used our last command point, we couldn't save it on Veritas Vitae, and we have put these here, they've relocated. I'm going to try and disrupt this back line. Sanguinary Priest has moved, Chaplain's moved, and has had his wound restored by the Sanguinary Priest. Then across here, Scouts have moved, so have the 2 Bale Predators, they're available for shooting. And then the Sanguinor himself is going to go on a suicide charge against the Hemlock Wraith fighter. Scouts repositioning to try and pick up a victory point here as well for holding this objective. So Blood Angels fighting on. We'll go on to their shooting phase next on turn 3. You're right, so shooting phase complete here. No damage caused by the Angelus bolt guns firing through. Bolt pistols fired, no damage. And then across here, we caused a wound. That was firepower coming from the Bale Predators. They're not doing too well in this game. Got doubts about them here in the force, just picking off wounds here and there, and just being general victims here in this battle, being charged by wave serpents and harassed at 60-inch range by the fire prisms. Crack grenade thrown, no damage. Scouts advanced, they couldn't shoot, and then heavy bolter firing through, no damage against the Wraith Guard. So firepower done. Oh, we've got something. The Wraith Lord, the Wraith Seer was destroyed, just as I was saying how rubbish the Bale Predators were. This one fired through and actually managed to bring him down, knocking 2 wounds off. So they've slain the Warlord there at least. So they have achieved something quite significant actually for the Blood Angels in this game. That is the end of shooting. Still desperate here for Blood Angels, but they cling on, fighting on to the bitter end. We'll go on to charges and Overwatch next. It could all go wrong here. Overwatch could be nasty around here. Overwatch could be very nasty around here with the Sanguinor as well. We're going to have to charge him in. This could be messy. We'll go on to charges and Overwatch next. Alright, so we'll film this for entertainment purposes. 2 hits, 3 hits. 2 wounds. And what are we looking at here for damage?
2 damage each shot, potentially.
Another 4+ in 1 save. It means I have to pass one of these or I will die. There's no... Yeah, 2 wounds, yeah. So if you cause... Yeah, if I foul one of these, I'm alright.
Mm-hmm.
I have to pass 1 at least.
Sorry, yeah.
Alright. It's just a simple roll of 4... Walk away, walk away, walk away. Oh no.
That didn't happen, we can do that.
Yeah, no, we'll edit this out here, refilm. Disaster. No. I don't think he has 7 wounds. It's wishful thinking. We both know he doesn't. Everyone's saying he doesn't. I'm not even going to check the book.
It's a 6 up for no pain, right?
No, he has nothing. 0. No help from anybody. No rerolls left. Just checking command points. None. They've all gone. Sanguinor is dead. Oh. But James lets out as a groan here. It's a simple 75% chance of pulling that off. And we could have finished that off, but it's not to be. The Warlord is slain here, destroyed by Wraith firepower coming from the Hemlock Wraith fighter here. That is significant. I think that may have killed the game off here for Blood Angels. We'll roll up some other charges here, off camera preferably here. We'll roll up and see if we can make it in. Perhaps the Sanguinary Guard can make it into combat. Right, so charges have taken place. The Sanguinary Guard have made it in, and I've positioned them so they are within 6 inches of the Sanguinary Priest and the Chaplain, who both failed to charge, but they will be granting some bonuses there to the Sanguinary Guard. That is a significant result over there. If we had have made it in, I reckon we could have finished the Hemlock Wraith fighter. I've only got 2 wounds left, and nicely protected behind other units that all would have then been available to move out and assault different units. That could have really mixed the game up there, but it's not to be. We'll get some combats resolved next for Blood Angels on their 3rd turn. Alright, so combats resolved. We caused some wounds coming through. Josh is down to 8 wounds now left on the Fire Prism, and that marks the end of assaults here and the end of the turn. So we're going to go on to the 4th turn now for the Eldar. I think they're nicely ahead. And again, just going to mention a significant result down there. We've lost the Warlord. He had some pretty good combat potential. Now that fighter, although on 2 wounds left, can still fire at full potential. And he's pretty much free to go wherever he wishes. And what a great unit to have for mopping up enemy forces towards the latter stages of the game. And here this flyer can pull out of combat and still shoot. We'll go on to turn 4 now for the forces of the Eldar. Right, so turn 4, and it looks like the coup de grace, the final blow, is about to be delivered here by the Iyanden Craftworld. I'm pronouncing them correctly now. It's taken a whole game. That's the correct the correct pronunciation. So these will die. I think there's trouble here from the Hemlock. Excellent unit. What a unit it's been. And then the Wraith Guard moving around as well. So there's trouble here for these remaining characters. Unless the Chaplain can roll another 8 4+ invuln saves. He's done it before. Wraith Guard moving in. They'll now secure this objective and probably destroy the scouts. And then down here, Wave Serpent. Josh can use that to charge in and silence the tanks, and he can shoot at the scouts. So looking healthy here, and both of the fire prisms lined up ready to shoot as well, backing out of combat with this one ready to fire. We'll go on to Psychic Phase next for the Eldar on turn 4. Okay, so Guide failed, and then what else from him? The second power? Smite failed as well. Okay, and then Smite went off over here, rolled an 11, but it was just 1 wound caused on the Sanguinary Guard. That is Psychic Phase finished, and we'll get Shooting Phase resolved next. Alright, so Shooting Phase done. Miracles again taking place. So both of these fire prisms offloaded their firepower along with the Hemlock into the Sanguinary Guard. You can see 2 of them removed. 1 of them remained. This last guy here rolled a 5, a 6, and a 6. That's exactly the scores they needed, and that's exactly what he got. So some bizarre saving throws taking place here for Blood Angels. So glad to see him still alive. Then across here, again, 4+ invuln saves being made by the Chaplain here. All of these passed, and these 3 failed. It kept him alive. So because he'd had a wound restored by the Sanguinary Priest, he's survived. He's taken 3 wounds, and he has a wound remaining. So the Chaplain, defiantly alive. He might be finished off in close combat if Josh decides to charge in. Ridiculous, the amount of rolls that he's made to stay alive in this game. Then across here, a scout's been removed from play. That was firepower coming in from the Wave Serpent. And the scouts down here incinerated and melted by the Wraith cannons. Now Josh can secure this objective. Alright, so we'll go on to charges now on Overwatch next. Alright, so charges are taking place. The Chaplain has been contacted here, and then the Sanguinary Priest has heroically intervened to try and save the Chaplain, who's on 1 wound left. Then across here, Wave Serpent's managed to charge in against the scouts and also the Bow Predator. No damage taken from Overwatch. That's charges done. We'll resolve the combats next. Okay, so combat's resolved here. Chaplain had to make 2 saves, which he did. He rolled a 6 and a 4, so he's still alive. And I'm going to heal him with the Sanguinary Priest again. Oh dear, I've never seen anything like it. Incredible from him. Despite the Blood Angels are losers in this game, but the Chaplain is a winner. He is a winner. He really is doing well. And across here, scouts actually caused 3 wounds. Josh rolled a 1 and 2 2s, so 3 wounds taken on the Wave Serpent there. And so 5 wounds remaining, and then no damage coming in from the Bow Predator. That's combat's done. Blood Angels, I think they're out of this here, but we'll go on to their 4th turn. We'll see what they can do. We'll go on to their 4th turn coming up next. Right, so movement done. The Sanguinary Guardsman, the one left, has decided to move across. The Sanguinary Priest then restored wounds, or 1 wound, on the Chaplain, so he's got 2 wounds left now. Then over here, the Bow Predators remain stationary. This one's not in combat. The other one's pulled back onto the objective. Scouts are going to remain in combat there against the Wave Serpent, and that is it. So we're going to Shooting Phase next, the Blood Angels on turn 4. Right, so shooting done. Angela's bolt gun fired at the flyer and caused no damage. 2 wounds caused here. That was firepower coming in from this Bow Predator. Pistol fired. Josh rolled 2 1s for wounds that came through. So down to 3 wounds left here on the Wave Serpent. And then we backed off with this one, so that one couldn't shoot. That's the end of Shooting Phase. Combat's next. We've got this one to resolve. Scout's doing very well at the moment. And then round here, Sanguinary Guardsman will charge in to try and support the combat here against the Wraith Guard. So Sanguinary Guardsman's charged in, and then just ongoing combat. So we'll get these combats resolved now here, fighting away against these Wraith Guard. 2 wounds, by the way. That was firepower coming in from
Some chaplain's attacks.
Chaplain's attacks and combat. Yeah, we forgot to mention that. So 2 wounds is already on one of these models. That was from the chaplain fighting last round. All right, so we'll resolve combat for this turn now. Okay, so combat's resolved. Chaplain's gone. We had 2 saves to make. Josh put all of his attacks into him and rolled 2 ones, double one. Finally, the dam gave way and 2 ones are rolled. The chaplain has been destroyed. What an epic saga for him here in this game. Sanguinary Guardsman brought down one of the Wraith Guard, but it wasn't enough to protect the chaplain in the end. Sanguinary Priest did no damage, and then across here, no damage inflicted on either side in close combat, just there. That is the end of turn 4 for the Blood Angels. We'll go on to the 5th turn now for the Eldar, as they should have mopped up the Blood Angels a while ago, but if Josh does well here, he should be able to finish the Blood Angels off. We'll go on to turn 5 for him next. Alright, so movement done, repositioning onto this objective here. Wraith Guard have pulled out of combat, but you'll be able to shoot and charge with their relentless, yes. So, implacable it's called, isn't it, their rules?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right, okay. So that's flexible there from them. Excellent unit. And then across here, pulling out of combat against the Scouts, still will be able to fire with the Wave Serpent and the Wraith Guard moving up as well. And the Hemlock moving into position to cause trouble as well. And then the Farseer has moved across the crater. That's movement done. We'll go now on to Psychic Phase next. Alright, Psychic Phase complete here. Smite went off, and a good roll here from the Farseer. Just 2 wounds left now on this Predator, and Smite went off across here, just 1 wound caused on the other Power Predator. That's Psychic Phase done. The second power from him?
Guide onto that unit.
Guide on here. Right, okay, so they have Guide. That's Psychic Phase finished. On to Shooting Phase next. Alright, Shooting Phase finished. Fire Prism firing through, 6 wounds caused on the Sanguinary Priest. He's gone. And then Firepower come through here from the Wraith Guard, destroyed the Sanguinary Guardsman. Then the Wraith Guard, one of them was in range of the Predator here and destroyed it. Because it was guided, yes, the missed and then got a 4 for a hit. So then the rest of their firepower, combined with firepower from here, took out the Scouts, and then Fire Prism, firepower coming through, has reduced, and the Hemlock reduced this one down to 1 wound left. This is all I've got left. I don't think there's any point in carrying on. No. So, he wants to charge. Go on then. I'll slay you in Overwatch then. Okay, so he will make it in. We'll roll up some Overwatch. Here's the final blow here, about to be delivered to the Blood Angels. Alright, so this is the main gun.
Wounded.
Yes, strength 6, yeah.
Saved.
Saved, okay. That was the twin assault cannon. This is heavy bolters. 1 wound, -1. You've got a wound, and then we can fire storm bolters here, 1 hit, and another wound coming through, a regular save for that one, which is failed. So 2 wounds taken.
Have you used your hunter kill?
So Josh has made his charge, and he's made it into just there. So now you can do your attacks.
2 attacks.
2 attacks.
2 hits. I believe his weapon always wins on a 2+.
2+, yeah.
1 wound.
1 wound comes through. And now we roll this 1 dice, needing a 3+.
Oh.
We do, we survive. All right, and at that point we'll concede with still a slight amount of Blood Angel's presence on the table. The driver gets out in disgust and storms off the table here to live to fight another day. But game over here. We'll calculate victory points. Blood Angels have been beaten here. I think some early opportunities were missed. Predators especially, they had it lined up, but they could have dealt out some nasty damage. We didn't go first. The Storm Raven was brought down as well. If that situation had been different, the game may well have resulted perhaps much closer, but still, we'll calculate points. Blood Angels, despite the loss here, have been steadily picking up points during this game, but the Eldar have prevailed for sure. We'll get an exact score. Yeah, so 14 points here to the Eldar. That was for their objectives being secured. And then Linebreaker just about picked up here. Slay the Warlord and First Blood. Remember, Storm Raven was brought down. So 17 points. The the Blood Angels, they scored 8 for holding objectives, and then 1 for Slay the Warlord. So At 17-9, the final score in the end. So a clear enough victory for the Eldar. And they still have plenty of their units on the board. But some respect to the Blood Angels. They picked up a good number of victory points here in this battle. There were some good moments for them. The smash attack that we saw taking place here with the Thunderhammer Terminators was very impressive. And then, yes, the ambush, the surrounding and the merciless killing here of the Wave Serpent and the Wraith Blades was quite good as well. But overall, despite those couple of instances of honour to the chapter, the Blood Angels have been defeated by a good all-round performance from this Iyanden army. Nice to see them debuting on the channel. Very bright and colourful colour scheme here, and great to have Josh playing again in one of the Challenge Scorpion episodes. Another army that he has, another good army, has performed very well here in this battle. So Eldar and Blood Angels have collided, and in the end the Blood Angels have had to pull back. The lone driver will pull away and give a report of what's taken place, and the Eldar have prevailed in this fight. Great game, enjoyable game here. Blood Angels, a lot of head scratching and meditation to do for future battles, but Eldar have the victory here. Great battle, thanks for watching, and tune in next time. Right, so units of the game for both sides. Yes, James says the chaplain. I mean, honourable mention for him. Utterly incredible escapades from him. I'm going to give it to the Thunderhammer Terminators. A rock-solid unit. A lot of effort to try and get rid of them, and they smashed their way through a good number of units themselves. So I'm going to give it to them. And Josh is going to award his unit of the game to the Hemlock Wraith Fighter. A total harassment to the Eldar here. An incredible unit. Very, very helpful indeed. How many points?
I believe 210.
About 210, but well worth every point paid. That's units of the game for both sides.